drink much of any. So, I mean, I guess I could get some sugar out of my diet. That's about all I could do.
Yeah.
Because I don't, you know, I just, it's on both sides of my family. You know, my dad always thought, and his dad had issues too, but these guys early in their life were hard livers, and they smoked from teenage until death. I've never done that.
I'll bet my dad started smoking before he was a teenager. If I had to flip a coin and say, yeah, heads, that's my answer. Yeah. So I get that. My dad's one of those, he's got heart problems on his side, so I've always kind of watched mine, tried not to get too crazy overweight. You know, right now I can stand to lose some, but just getting back in gym will do that for me usually. But I'm like you, my blood pressure, it's almost like a metronome. It's like 120 over 70.
Yeah, mine is like it's like a marathoner. It's always been good.
Yeah.
So that's good, I guess.
Well, that's me too. You know, the only time I have elevated, like any kind of elevated blood pressure or heart rate is when I'm in the doctor's office because I'm nervous. They're going to tell me it's high. And I tell him, I said, I checked it this morning before I left. I said it was literally 120 or 70 at the house.
That's
pretty
common.
With 65 beats a minute.
That's called like white coat syndrome.
Yeah, I know, and he knew it. You know, because it wasn't crazy high. It was just a little bit high. And, you know, I told him, I said, I would much rather not get on any medication at all. I take one Claritin D 24-hour every day because if I can't breathe. That's the only medicine I try to take if I can avoid it. And Shauna would tell you, you're better off not taking any, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I agree.
I felt so bad. I took Christian her meds last week. Of course, I didn't know she had a migraine, but I rang the doorbell. All your dogs got riled up, and I felt so bad. I was like, oh, I am so sorry. I would have left it in the mailbox if I'd have thought that you were having a headache.
But our dogs, that's their system. Well,
what's for lunch?
I don't know.
mom's daughter graduated a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you
So he knows how awesome.
welcome here. I'm a Rotary guy, but my daughter was in dimension,
So he knows how awesome we are.
I know how awesome they are. They are awesome for sure. Yeah. Well, I'm really interested to come out here. It seems like a cool. Come by and see what it is.
Thank you all for being here too. Thank you for being here. So, all right, Carla actually is going to introduce you. I haven't seen her. Right. You may wander in here, but I'm just going to have Carla already knows. And thank you.
we'll probably have to
Okay. I'll just yell at y'all. Want to welcome you to Norman Rotary today. And today is March 26th, 2026. So do you know what tomorrow is? Yes. We have a 900 first graders coming to the Center for Arts and Learning tomorrow. And that's going to be a wild ride. So hopefully you signed up to volunteer. And then Saturday is our big community event. So we're really excited about that. Woohoo! All volunteers will be sporting this fancy vest here, so they can be found easily. Okay. All right. It's a color that works for everyone, right? Anyway, so we're very excited to finally be at this point. But before we get into all that, let's take a moment of silence to reflect or pray. Okay, I hope you thought about all those teachers and people sitting in the cattle tomorrow. So, okay, flag salute. Craig Keaton's gonna tackle that and the four-way test.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And will you please join me in the four-way test? The things we think, say, or do. Is it true? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And it's going to be fun!
Yes. Okay, we have some guests with us today. Sean and Keith Menace, wave your hands. Sean and Keith, yes, thank you. They've been back now several times, and I think we'll see them more frequently. So, I also want to recognize Dirk O'Hara, who is an NPS school board member. So thank you for your service, and we're going to give you a Storypalooza shirt. So thank you. We are very grateful for all the support that NPS has provided us during this event. You can see, I know probably not the small tiny words from where you're sitting, but this is a session schedule, and that's going to tell you kind of what's going on Saturday. So if you want to take a look at that, just to kind of familiarize yourself with, we have 10 authors. They're each going to be doing sessions throughout the day. They'll be happening simultaneously. So yes, it's a pick and choose kind of deal. The colors tell you approximately what age the session is recommended for. So anyway, that's kind of how it's going to work. And we need volunteers to help people when they come in the door, try to find an appropriate session, where that session is being held, and answer any questions. We need volunteers for author rooms. We need volunteers specifically in the afternoon. So if you find yourself needing something to do Saturday afternoon, we would really appreciate if you would sign up. This is an all-hands-on-deck thing, you guys. This is our one and only fundraiser. And so I need everybody to the best of your ability, show up, show out. Let's get Norman Rotary in the room.
What are the sessions Saturday afternoon?
Jamie, Liz, you want to answer volunteer session?
1 to 3, I think, is the volunteers' time frame in the afternoon.
So,
There's 8 to 11, 10 to 1,
1 to 3.
1 to 3, and 1 to 5.
Okay, so that is 8 to 11, 11 to 1, 1 to 3, and 2 to 5. After 1 o'clock, if your schedule allows you to be there even an hour, it will be much, much appreciated. We have no idea what our attendance will be like. We're hoping, that we parade several hundred people through the door. I would love to see 1,000. So we've been doing lots of promos, morning shows, radio spots, billboards, everything we can do to think that there's an article in the transcript this morning. So hopefully we're getting the word out and people will show up. And that's why it's important that you're there to greet them. Okay, if you did not remember to bring your yard sign today, or you are holding it for Saturday, if it's in a strategic location with lots of visibility, that's fine. Just make sure that it's at the cow Saturday morning. If you need somebody to pick that up, just text me. Okay. We still have no giveaways. Craig, are we signed up for everybody? We're all good? Okay. And Joseph has an announcement.
I was going to say about the same thing, but in a less kinder, less gentler way. I've been knocking around this club for 45 years and still standing there. But I can tell you that this is the biggest thing we have done in this club during my 45 years. If anyone can think of something, let it be known. But I don't think you can. This is it. Tomorrow and Saturday is our moment. And we are so in sync with the time. Here we are in the state that's a bottom feeder in literacy. And we as a Rotary Club have a chance to do our part to raise that up, to do something tangible. This is the moment, and everyone in this room has a chance to contribute. So when I get home this afternoon, I'm going to look at that signage, and I expect every single slot to be filled. You know, Liz shouldn't be worried about this. It should be done. You know, Jamie and Craig and the whole committee, they worked incredibly hard, done great work. Let's support it and make this small little effort to get that final part finished and have the best event in the history of Norman Rotary this weekend.
Wise words from also giving our authors a little bit of hospitality basket. We want them to leave with a really good taste about our club, about the event. We have already had authors contact us about next year's event, which is an amazing problem to have because we couldn't accommodate them this year. So anyway, we want to be known for our hospitality too. So Liz and Jamie have been working on getting those together, and Liz is demonstrating. We have historically Liz a t-shirt, as you saw.
Their t-shirts are white for the altars. They are also getting some local delicacies from Apple Tree Chocolate, as well as a simple modern cup. Let me just reveal this for you. With our awesome logo on the front that says presented by Norman Rotary Club, so they know who put it on when they go back to their homes and towns and communities and share it with everyone else. So excited about this. This is like a big deal that we got these cups and then got them great. And the candle, yes, we also have a candle, a volcano candle. Yes, thank you.
Everyone's favorite.
Yes. So I'm very excited. We're putting the baskets together tonight, and we're very excited about that. So they also have a few other small goodies to go with them. So anyway, I just wanted to promote this and let everybody see what they look like.
Great job, guys. And I want to take a moment to recognize our Storypalooza committee. This team has been amazing and awesome, and if you are part of that committee, please stand up. Not everybody's here, but you guys have been amazing. I can't thank you enough. Okay, I did not introduce our students of the month, so I'm going to go back and have Carla introduce them.
It's good to have our students of the month back with us. I feel like we know you, and we really do, and we're so glad you're with us again today. So I'm going to just ask you guys to introduce yourselves, and if you brought a guest, introduce your guests for us. And then I'm going to ask you this question. We, as you see, and you've been hearing all since we started lunch, we are having a big service project as a Rotary group this weekend. And so that made me wonder if you could just take a second and reflect on what has been your favorite service project that you've had the opportunity to participate in. Either at your school, or your church, or something. But what is one thing, a service project memory that you'll take away with you? Who would like to go first? Okay.
And there is the teacher in Carla.
Okay guys, so I'm Crystal Santa Cruz. I'm going to a big service project that I've really enjoyed this past semester was actually our philanthropy week, Palooza, that happened March 9th through March 12th. And so we got to really help our Make-A-Wish kid named Tyson, and he really loves soccer and he's going to the World Cup. So recently he was a captain at the boys soccer game this past Tuesday, so that was very fun, and I've just enjoyed getting to meet him and learn all about his class and all of his different joys that he loves and how he's going through cancer and battling that, but still being so joyful with all the things he's going through. So that's been a very touching subject for me since
You raised a lot of money. How much did you raise?
Yes, we raised, I think it was about $96,000.
Isn't that great?
Okay, who's next? Okay, thank you.
My name is Addison Simeon. I go to the Michigan Academy. I really can't place my finger on a service like a spot on service because I feel like I'm always giving. I feel like every day I go to school, I try and give my most to the people who struggle, to all the students. Because Dimensions is a place where we get a second chance, and I really appreciate that a lot. So I like to just give out my best to every student and every staff and every teacher. I love it. I just love giving myself to everybody. Okay. Thank you.
All right, Mr. O'Hara.
Hello, it's good to see you all again. Sorry I wasn't here last week. I was skiing the dirt and rock slopes of Breckenridge. First winter of all time, so enjoyed that. I'm here with my dad. This is Mr. Dirk O'Hara. He's been a leading light in my life, and it's a heavy reason for why I'm here today, doing all these things that I'm participating in. He truly just, pushes me to be the best version of myself through all that I do, so I'm thankful that he's joining me here today on this busy Thursday. A service project that I've gotten to participate in the last year and over the last 4 years of my life has been a crosstown service project with Norman North did. And so that is their student council at Norman North, and I'm a part of the student council at Norman High. And so we come together and we will go to either like a Ruby Grant Park or the soccer field, whatever you want to say, and we will clean up that whole entire park for hours. And so it's kind of like you get grouped with people from both schools. And so you have anywhere from 10 people that are meeting each other for the first time, but they literally go to schools that are a few miles away. And so it builds bonds throughout our community, and it shows you that coming together is really, really important, regardless of where you may go to school. Because most of the time we see each other is whenever we're playing sports or whenever we're doing something like that. So getting able to come together with them and serve is the best thing for us, and we really see growth from it, and hopefully it carries on in the future. So, thank you.
Thank you all for being here. went to New York City because my daughter had to dig her car out. So, okay, without any further ado, I'm going to call Phil Cotton up here. He's going to introduce our speaker. And we are very grateful to have David Todd with us, and we are grateful for Phil as well.
And she caught me with a cookie in my mouth. It's my pleasure to introduce our speaker today, Mr. David Todd. He serves as program manager for MAPS, the Oklahoma City Transformational Capital Improvement Program, which is in its fourth initiative. We were talking about, he said it's been around for almost 30 years. Anyway, MAPS 4 is a donor-approved sales tax program. It includes $1.1 billion with a B to benefit Oklahoma City residents 16 quality projects. He also leads the design and construction of the highly anticipated Oklahoma City Arena, and I think they may have had groundbreaking this morning. David's passion for his city is also reflected in his work with the community. He's actively contributes to the civic life as a member of the boards of directors of the South Oklahoma City Chamber of Commerce at the Greenbrier YMCA. He also serves as chairman of the board of the Oklahoma City branch of the American Society of Civil Engineers and the Oklahoma section of ASCE. He's a lifelong resident of Oklahoma City, holds a Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering from the University of Oklahoma. He began his career with the Public Works Department before transitioning into the private sector. In 1994, he founded Todd Engineering, a civil engineering firm specializing in roadway, utility, and storm sewer design, as well as subdivision and commercial site development. He's had 17 successful years and has built a reputation for delivering high-quality, practical engineering solutions. After selling that firm's assets, he returned to Oklahoma City to continue his career in public service and reaffirmed his dedication to improving the community that shaped him. And then this morning is having a election in about a week. This should be a very interesting description of how it can work really well. Mr. Todd.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Hey, Mark, how are you? So two things, real quick. I'm going to try to do a 1-hour presentation in 25 minutes. So that's why it'll be a little fast. And then if you have questions as I go through this, just raise your hand, just holler out your question as we go. It's probably the easiest way. So, I think it's important that we understand and remember where we came from, because right now there's people in the workforce that don't know Oklahoma City before MAPS, don't remember what it was like. So, once upon a time, there was a city that was dying. And that city was dying along with the neighboring cities, Norman, Midwest City, Yukon, Moore, all those. And I know that because I lived it. I came out of school and there were no jobs. Everybody I graduated with went to Texas. They're still there. I was lucky that I had been working for an engineering firm and they hired me there and I was able to stay. So, as I said, remembering where we came from with MAPS so that we don't take it for granted. You know, we just recently got 76% approval on the arena, but that didn't just happen. It happened because of a whole lot of work. So you can see the picture behind me. Anybody remember that? You know where that is? I remember in high school, I would look under the railroad bridge there and look back in there and think, I wonder what's over there. Well, that street is now that because of MAPS. The first project that came out of the original MAPS was the ballpark. You all remember what the ballpark was in Oklahoma City before this? Remember that? I had a lot of nickel beer there. That's what I remember most. And I did get to see the Phillies play there once with Pete Rose and that other group. we built the Paycom, which was the start of what we experienced today, getting to where we're building a new arena because we had a basketball team. I couldn't believe it when Clay Bennett said today that the Thunder has been here for 20 years. Doesn't seem like 20 years, it's 20 years. So this picture shows the Paycom. You can see the Marriott or the Cox Convention Center in the background. You see the highway is still right there, and the hotel was under construction. And then we did improvements to the Civic Center, changed that to make that at the time state of the art for the Philharmonic, ballet, those kind of performances, because now we have Paycom for the bigger concerts. I keep meaning to fix this every time. So this was part of the original MAPS projects, and that was to expand the convention center. We added that great big ballroom that was in there and those meeting rooms. It was a dramatic change at the time. Does anybody remember what the Marriott looked like before this, before MAPS came along? How's that? That was our convention center. Do you remember what was across the street to the south? Anybody? How quick we forget. It was Wonder Bread, but it was boarded up. So across the street from our convention center was a 2-story boarded up old bakery. So we also put 3 dams on the river so we could impound water, and then we did the library. And there were some improvements out at the fairgrounds. Ironically, that little swoop there is what was put on to the North Arena. We just tore all that down because of MAPS School. So then on the heels of MAPS, we went to MAPS for Kids. And that's where Mayor Humphrey said that you can't have a great city if you don't have great schools. And Oklahoma City Public Schools had struggled for a couple of decades to pass the bond issue. The schools were in terrible condition, so we were able to go in and renovate 70 different schools within the Oklahoma City Public Schools District. We built 5 new high schools. We built 2 brand new elementaries. We bought 10,000 computers. We bought hundreds of buses. Did all kinds of things to help them get to where they needed to be to catch up. But also, don't forget that all the suburban schools, so there's 23 different school districts within the Oklahoma City city limits, and Norman is one of them. Moore got the 2nd highest amount of funds from that. Putnam City got the most. But there's 23. It goes all the way up Little Axe, all the way up Union City. It's just absurd how many school districts there are. But they got 30% of those funds. And some of the schools that probably your kids or grandkids are going or went to was affected by MAPS. We built learning centers on all of those elementary schools, because previously their library might have been a closet. And then MAPS 3, that's what we just recently finished. I hope everybody's seen Scissortail Park. I'm very proud of Scissortail Park. And we also replaced the convention center. At the time, you know, the MAPS improvements of the Cox Convention Center were pretty nice, but this is twice as big. The Expo Hall is twice as big. It allows us to bring in much bigger shows now. Very happy with the way that project turned out. And then the Whitewater facility, that was kind of a one-off project that was added to MAPS 3, and that's why one of the reasons why we had the Olympics coming in 28. This is one of 3 facilities in the country that operate outside of an active river. It's also used for swiftwater rescue training. All kinds of training goes on down there between fire departments and military and police departments. Then we also built 4 senior wellness centers. Pretty much scattered in the quadrants. However, this one is by Capitol Hill High School, kind of more inner city than the others. The first one is up by Putnam City North. This one is at 36th and Lincoln. And then this is our latest one. It's roughly at Southwest 134th and Western. those are designated for people 50 and over. They've been very successful. We built the Bennett Event Center, which is 300,000 square feet, replaced the old travel and transportation building. And then we built 55 miles of sidewalks and 39 miles of trail all across the city. And of course, the streetcar downtown. So, again, I just mentioned this so that we continue to realize where we've come from and that we don't take these things for granted each time. My office is very cognizant that we have to deliver what we promised. We try to deliver within budget. We try to deliver within the timeline that's set. MAPS is a 1 cent sales tax, but it is pay as you go. We don't finance it. So we have a timeline that we have to follow, and we execute it that way. And that is what I believe we were talking a while ago. That's been the reason for our success, is that we come through with what we were supposed to do in the manner we were supposed to do it. So right now we're on MAPS 4. There's 6 subcommittees. Condensing this into 25 minutes, I don't have time to get into all the citizen oversight, but there are 6 subcommittees, and then there's an advisory board that oversees all that. And under those subcommittees are the 16 various projects. And when you continue to break that down, there's 95 separate projects within MAPS 4. So when it says on there, sidewalks, well, there's actually 12 phases of sidewalks that we have. We're bringing in almost $13 million a month from that one penny. Sometimes it's 12, sometimes it's 13 and a half, but averaging about 13 million a month. So I'll take you through some of the projects right now. Civil Rights Center is a center, $17 million in honor of Clara Luber, civil rights activist. We have final plans complete. They're going to the subcommittee next week. It'll be at City Council the week after that, and it'll be on the street out for bids. Hope to start that by June of this year and have it done before the end of 27. Within the community subcommittee, there's the diversion hub, homelessness, mental health, and the family justice center. So we'll start with homelessness. There's $55 million. This isn't updated, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it's not exactly accurate, but there's $55 million in MAPS funds that are being used to leverage other funds through the Oakland City Housing Authority. So they can get tax credits, they can get grants, they can get low interest loans with developers, and the hope is that that $55 million turns into almost $460 million. That's the plan. They're executing the first phase right now. Diversion hub, I understand that Norman just got a diversion hub. For those of you that don't know what they do, they help people navigate the criminal justice system, as intimidating as that can be, or some of the people that get in low-level trouble, and then they miss the court date. What happens? They end up in jail, right? So this is to try and help keep those people out of jail. We've got a diversion hub right up there at Linwood and Western. It is 98% complete. They're moving furniture in this month, and we hope to open that and do a ribbon cutting first week of May. Very dedicated people. They already operate within Oklahoma City, but we're able to give them about 3 times as much space to do, hopefully 3 times as much as what they're doing now. Similarly, Palomar is a organization that is currently operating just across the street from that box, and they help victims of domestic violence, which is predominantly women. There are some men that show up there. What they do is they consolidate all the different groups that people need to see into one building. So instead of when a client comes to them and they tell them, well, you need to go to the police department, and then you need to go across town to DHS, then you gotta go to the other side of town over to the Salvation Army. What they can tell now is go down the hall, first door on the left is the police department, second door on the right is DHS. You get the idea that all those partners are in the building with them operating, and it keeps them consolidated. It's a great building. A great building. We've got the concrete superstructure poured. Right now, they're going to start with the curtain wall. That will be finished in about a year. Some interior shots. And see, that's where the partners are in. It's sometimes one or two people from another organization that can help them get what they need. And also our domestic violence division of the police department will office in that building with them. Mental health, we have two projects that we hope will help with mental health. One of them is a crisis center. This is a facility where if somebody is having an issue, they can come here and be treated for up to 24 hours. It's very short term, but it is help, and then they can be referred out of there. We're building this at about 14th and Lottie, right up there in the health sciences area. We'll start building this as soon as they tear down the building, so we're about 45 to 60 days away from starting construction on that, and it'll take about 18 months to finish it. Similarly, that building that you see in the foreground is what we call the Restoration Center. It has a crisis center in it, but it also has beds in there, so clients can stay, I think it's 2 weeks. I can't remember, but it's longer term. Not permanent, but it's longer term. And then what we've got further back there in the back, here, is some supportive housing. So the last thing you want to do, and I'm no expert at this, I've just learned working with the operator on this. Last thing you want to do is treat somebody for the 2 weeks or whatever and get them in a good situation and then turn them back out on the street. It really does you no good. So the plan is to be able to send them to this housing temporarily, kind of a stepped system, and then they can go into some permanent housing. Connectivity has several things in it. Beautification has some transit projects, and then the biggest piece is the sidewalks, bike lanes, trails, and street lights. So beautification is some little small projects that are going to dot around the city. What we're working on right now is gateway signing. So when you're what feels like in Luther on the turnpike, you know, you get into a point where you're in Oklahoma City, but it's rural as heck out there. So the mayor wanted to put up some signage that delineates where all the city limits are. Sidewalks, I think it's pretty self-explanatory, just more of that. Some bike lanes, we've completed 2 of those in the Midtown area, and we'll be doing some more. And then we're doing a trail that connects with an existing trail they just finished at 74th and May, and it will, if you're familiar with Oklahoma City, it will extend further south to Earlywine Park. So if you're at Earlywine Park, you can get on a bicycle and take a trail all the way down to the river, and then get on the river trail system. So the goal is to connect all these trails so that you can get around the city, not just for recreation, but you know, some people ride a bike to work, and that is an alternate transportation system. Transit, we're buying buses, partially for the Olympics, but also just to restock what Embark has. And then we're doing 2 BRTs, bus rapid transit lines, one that will go northeast and one that will go south. There's one already that goes northwest, and what a bus rapid transit is, it's like an express bus. It doesn't stop every 2 blocks. It stops every 2 miles. And the idea is to pick up larger groups and get from point A to point B faster. Innovation District has 3 projects in it. The connectivity is under construction. construction and design. It's in 2 phases right now. What that is reestablishing some sidewalks and some walking paths in the area. So I should tell you, innovation area is roughly the Health Science Center and south of it. It's Lincoln to M.L. King and 23rd down to about 3rd, just short of Bricktown. So connectivity, bike lanes, and sidewalks, and some beautification stuff in there. Innovation Hall was really just a donation we made with a partner that completed the Innovation Hall. It's already in service right now. And then H.B. Foster Center will be a minority business incubator. It's in an old YMCA, the first African-American YMCA in Oklahoma City. Kind of a historic building. It's been there since the mid-50s. We're going to remodel that and, like I said, turn it into that business incubator. Neighborhoods. See, I'm raising here. Animal shelter, parks, senior wellness, and youth centers. So, first youth center, this is a rendering of the youth center that we will build at Woodson Park. This is not a pool and a gym. It is a new type of youth center where they have mentoring, where they have STEM programs, where they help with homework. There might even be a music studio in there. The Boys and Girls Club is our operator for this, and that's what they're currently doing in some of their places. It's obviously to keep kids off the street and guide them in the right direction, but it's not just give them a basketball or go throw them in the pool. Our parks projects, there's 107 projects that are 107 parks. These are neighborhood parks, not Early Wine, not Will Rogers. It's those little ones that are tucked inside the neighborhoods. We're trying to bring them all up to the same standard. And that's in design right now. We'll be bidding that this summer. This is a project that people are really interested in. That's the Animal Welfare Center. It's going to go just north of the existing Animal Welfare Center that's at 29th and Bryant. So there's the existing building. The new building is the pink color. It will have over 500 kennels for dogs and over 300 habitats for cats. Cats get habitats, dogs just get kennels. The goal is to help us become a no-kill city. It's a very needed facility. There's three different entrances. There's the adoption, so if you want to go get a dog, you would go into the adoption. There's intake. Unfortunately, there are people who just show up and say, I don't want this animal anymore, here, take it. And then the far right one is a clinic. So there's a full veterinarian clinic inside the building. And there's some inside shots of the lobby. This is under construction right now. It's probably about 40% complete. There's those habitats. I can't imagine how much I'd sneeze. And then there's the kennels. The very state-of-the-art, high volume movement of the heat and air to keep the smells down, and the ceilings are treated to keep the noise down. If you've been in the existing one, it can drive you mad with all the barking that's in there. Okay, last one is the venues. We started off with, when the program started, we were going to remodel Paycom. It was going to be cool. You guys would really been excited to see they were going to take out some of Loud City seats and extend it back, and we were going to extend over the roof and do better concessions and do all kinds of things. Well, that's gone because we're building a new arena. So most of that money went to the new arena. Fairgrounds Coliseum, we just finished last summer, and then the multi-purpose stadium. So the multi-purpose stadium will be built where the old Producers Co-op was, just south of Bricktown, kind of right up against the highway there. And it is what it says, multi-purpose. The soccer team will be operating it for us, but they anticipate having even a rodeo there. Certainly want to try and get high school finals games in our area, and I'll send them all to Tulsa. Concerts, those kind of things, so hence the multi-purpose. There's a night shot, and that's what it'll look like from the stands. It'll seat about 10,000. And then night concerts. I think they could get close to 20,000 in there, you know, with people on the field. Paycom Marina, real quick, we did do some improvements over there because obviously we're still using it for another 2 years. At the time this was done, it was 4 years away. So we replaced all the elevators. The original elevators were still in service. We replaced all of the seats, the retractables, the lower bowl, the upper bowl, every single seat in there was replaced because they do wear out. And it is sometimes hard to get parts for stuff. And they wear out because, you know, Mark, you're standing on them and stuff at concerts. It's really hard on them. There's what 20 years of beer and sodas looks like. And then we put in the new scoreboard that's in use now. Fairgrounds Coliseum, I hope you get a chance to go to that. I'm very proud of how that turned out. It is built just south of where the Norrick Arena was. That's actually a picture, that's not a rendering. Some interior shots. It's a lot different than the old Norrick because the old Norrick had no pre-function space, concessions were limited. This, you can walk around the bowl and see all the action and go to your concessions or restrooms. And it also has 3 suites that Norrick never had. And then there's a big club lounge at the end also. Boom, done. Thank you, Lisa.
The Rapid River stuff was a one-off thing. Whose idea was that to put that in, that we're being able to use for Olympics?
The whitewater facility. So I would guess that it was probably Mike Knopf's idea because he was running the Boathouse Foundation then and had seen it in other places, and it's a really cool thing, and I'm glad he did. Anybody else? All right, sorry, I'm pushing the limit.
No, you're good. I'm sorry we didn't give you more time.
That's all right.
It's a lot to go over.
It is. Thank you.
If you have questions, I don't know if he's hanging around but you might catch him. So, just a couple of last quick announcements. If you go to sign up for volunteer time and that time is full, don't despair. We'll still use you. You can just text Liz or Jamie, and they will direct you how you can be of service. So yes, and if you are on the committee, can you hang around for 5 minutes after the meeting, and we'll go over a couple things for tomorrow. So I want to thank our guests for being here. First of all, David, Todd, thank you for being here. Sorry we couldn't give you a little bit more time. I also want to thank Dirk O'Hara for being here, your son Aiden, Addison, and Crystal. Thank you guys for being here, for being students of the month. And then Sean and Keith, thank you for being here. Hopefully I didn't miss anyone else on the visitor list. But I will see you all tomorrow and Saturday at Storypalooza. Thank you.
I think later this week, and now it's like maybe Monday. She's not gonna do it. And so at some point, I'm gonna do it, and she knows that. So that's what it is. I'm sure she's really mad at it. She's afraid of it. She's afraid of it. Can I get your number?
Yes, yeah, that's pretty right.
One day I'll just call you at lunch or do something and I can pick your brain. Oh, that would be huge. And here's the other issue. I would love that. You could bring Beth in. Beth and I are always the same. Beth maybe is like, the one thing that reminded me to ask you this $1 million question is, like right now as we speak, Todd needs maintenance. You know, I know I'm going to maintenance and so does she. She's been in school.
So it's almost like a...
Yeah, she's taking advantage of it. But I do think it's because she's taking advantage of it.
I don't think she wants it. It absolutely is.
I would love to. I'm gonna try to get us to go to lunch. I'm gonna say I saw you at Rotary and that you said that we're gonna get lunch. And we'll go somewhere. Or it could be even on. It could be after work, whatever works out.
I appreciate that. I love that. I love the best and
Not very long.
exactly.
Well, she's like 5 years old. Yeah. Well, and you know, Harry's exactly opposite. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's not any problem. One of the biggest problems is this guy just can't proceed. It's the same kind of she quit, now she comes back to it. That's the one guy. And quite frankly, I think she only calls it because she could scream at him and doesn't say anything. You know what I mean? Every time she does is correct. It's good. No, it's not. It's bad for him too. So this is a dysfunctional relationship.
No, that's a shame, isn't it?
But yeah, I'm going to call you.
Tough time, so you're welcome to it.
Yeah, I'm
And if I
going
don't get back to you, can I text?
Oh, look.
Because I might not, work on the job or...
Yeah, I'm going to text you just so you have it.
Oh, good idea. So I'm good. Okay, thank you. Oh, and Craig is like... All right. What's your last name? It's not the same as hers, is it?
Yeah, I'm going to go.
Thank you, first. I knew that. I did.
Cardi kept my name and Beth kept hers. She loved me enough to marry me, but not take my name. No. And I'll say it's Harry. The brother says Harry. Anyway, I would love to pick your brain.
I'm here to support, especially when you want to mention superstars.
Good to see you.
We want to. It's hard sometimes. I know.
Thanks for coming. Yeah, we'll do that. And thanks for supporting all these guys. I'm a big Rotary guy. I've been since '99. So 6 years. Yeah, I come. Sometimes I don't show up, but I mean, I've technically I've seen where I still look like it. Oh, I didn't know you looked like it. It's a community called Culture Pond. That's where nowhere. Which is really nice. It's all. Good. Your son goes
Good to see you. Don't forget your shirt. I'm going to be there with my kids on Saturday.
They come in here and long time since the one. Yeah, I mean, I was rough on it. I had to take this and I said, I got to run, but I'm going to call you. Jerry, thanks for having me. You too, my friend.
Anybody?